Hello and welcome to the very first, no pun included, news segment. We decided to do a news segment. Let's not dwell on it. Treasure Island is a game I'm sadly excited about, and because I'm excited about it, it's really hard to make jokes about it. But in Treasure Island, you get to play as Silver Long Johns. Actually, confusing it with Long John Silver. Or you get to play as the other 4 people that are playing against Silver Long Johns. They're actually trying to get Silver Long Johns because they're part of Silver Long John's crew. And Silver Long Johns are known as a treasure. I think I mucked this up so much, I can't really backpedal. Apart from the fact I can tell you that the art is done by the ever wonderful Vincent Dutray, and you get to draw with non-permanent markers on a map. If it were permanent, this would be a legacy game. It would be a completely different thing. Stefan Feld announced a new game! Yes, I know. It's not particularly exciting if you don't know who Stefan Feld is. And if you don't know who Stefan Feld is, let me explain. He's kind of like Ridley Scott, if Ridley Scott made board games, because we all know that at one point Stefan Feld designed very good games, and he still designs one a year, except they're not quite what they used to be. And here's the thing, once again it is a co-design with Michael Rennick like last year's Merlin. Forum Trajan brings us into the ancient land of Rome. And that's just about all we know about it, because all we have of it is a blurry picture of the cover. Now hopefully, this is the game that brings us back to the golden age of Feld. Not to be confused with the golden age of Felt, that was the 90s. Fantasy Flight Games have announced a new expansion for Arkham Horror: The Living Card Game. The return to the Night of the Zealot. There's too many thes in it. I wasn't originally that enthused about Arkham Horror: The Living Card Game, and if you want to know why, you can go watch our review. But Quentin Smith of Shut Up and Sit Down fame has convinced me to go back and take a look at it. And what better reason to go back than an expansion that goes back to the original campaign and revisits it. I love going back to things. It's kind of like that dream I have all the time where I'm back at school. Tell you what, if there's a card that makes you pantless in this game, then they really nailed the horror part pretty much spot on. But this is not the only cool thing that happens with this expansion. You also get a box that lets you store all your cards in. What more do I need to go back to a card game and get addicted to cards? It's just gonna happen, I know I can't stop it. And over in Kickstarter land, we have Western Legends. Now, if there's one thing that Kickstarter publishers are very good for, is taking video game industry ideas and trying to adapt them to the board game industry, because they're identical in every single way, so what works in one will 100% work in the other. Now, the cool thing about Western Legends is that it doesn't do that. It's a completely unique idea, not existing in video games at all, which is an open world Western game. Wait a minute. Okay, the funny thing about talking about Kickstarter games is that you can't really judge them because I've not played it. And actually, if you want to see what the gameplay is like for yourself, you can watch Rado's video. He's done one on it. And also, Katie from Katie's Game Corner has also covered it on her blog. So there's many resources to find out about the game. The one thing that doesn't really make me excited about it is that I think there's so many ways to get the whole open world thing wrong. Yes, there's a lot of appeal in kind of traversing your own path and discovering your own way, but I often find that open world games spread themselves so thin they become like soup. And I'm not talking carrot and coriander soup here. The other Kickstarter I want to tell you about, even though there's many board game Kickstarters out there, well, it is a board game Kickstarter, but it is not a board game, it is about board games. It's the Dice Tower Kickstarter. The Dice Tower are having the yearly Kickstarter, and you should go back them because A, they do a lot of videos, but that's not the reason. The reason is, well, they're actually starting to put a platform for female board game reviewers as well, and I think that's really important in this hobby. But actually, the third reason is the best one, because they have a Gloomhaven adventure, so if you want to do the Gloomhaven, I back because of the Gloomhaven adventure. And And finally, we're introducing our celebrity segment. Each week we'll have a different celebrity discuss the games that we've just discussed in the news segments. This week we have the celebrity comedian David Baddiel. David, what did you think about this week's games?
I was on my own and I cried so much I started to laugh.
Thank you, David. That was very concise. That's pretty much it for this week. I hope you enjoyed our new news segment. Tune in next week.